Chapter 1. The History of the Universe. Before there was a star to shine, before there were angels singing, had a heaven, the home of the eternal, the only God. Perfect wisdom, love and glory, the eternal lived in eternity before achieving his beautiful dream, the creation of the universe. The countless beings that comprised the creation were all conceived with great affection. Since the inner atom to gigantic galaxies, all deserved his supreme regard. Music lover, God conceived the universe as a great orchestra, under his rule, should vibrate harmonious chords of justice and peace. For every creature, he has composed a love song. The Lord was very happy because his dreams were to be realized. Moving himself with majesty, began his work of creation. Your hands shaped primarily a world of light, and on it a mountain blazing over which would forever be executed the throne of the universe. The sacred mountain called Yahweh. From Zion, base of the throne, the Eternal did squirt a crystal-clear river to represent the life of him would flow to all creatures. As the throne room owns, this angel live on Mount Zion as the representative of the King of Kings before the universe. Much love, the Creator began to model the firstborn of the angels. All wisdom applied to form it, making it perfect. Tenderly granted him life, the beautiful angel, like that awaking from a deep sleep, opened his eyes and beheld the face of his Maker. With joy, the Eternal showed him the beauties of heaven, telling him of his plans, which were beginning to materialize. To be led to the place of his abode, to the throne, the Prince of the Angels was grateful, and with melodious voice sang his first song of praise. From the heights of Zion unraveled itself in the eyes of beautiful angel, Jerusalem in its vastness and splendor. The river of life, the serene glide through the city, resembled a broad avenue, mirroring the beauty of the Garden of Eden and the angelic mansions. Involving the firstborn of the angels with his robe of light, the Eternal began to speak to him of the principles that were to govern the universal kingdom. Physical and moral laws should be respected to the fullest extent of the divine government. Moral laws summarized in two principles: love God above all things and our neighbor Horn himself. Every rational creature should be a channel through which the Eternal could well have another life and light. Thus, the universe would grow in harmony, happiness, and peace. In the kingdom of Yahweh, the laws would not be enforced with rigor. The subjects were free. Obedience should arise spontaneously, in a gesture of appreciation and gratitude. In this realm of freedom, disobedience would also be possible. The result of such behavior would be the depletion of vital forces. After revealing the beautiful angel laws of his government, the Eternal entrusted him with a mission of great responsibility, to be the protector of those laws, and should honor them, and reveals them to the universe about to be created. With hearts overflowing with love for Yahweh and similar fit, you would be a model of perfection, was Lucifer, the light-bearer, the Prince of Angels, grateful for everything, prostrated himself before the loving King, promising him eternal fidelity. The Lord continued his work of creation, bringing into existence innumerable hosts of angels, the ministers of the kingdom of light. The holy city was populated by these creatures, radiant, happy, and grateful, united their voices in beautiful song of praise to the Creator. Yahweh now bring into existence the universe who, full of life, would be around his throne, signed his order, which thunder echoed by all parties, giving rise, as if by magic, countless galaxies, filled worlds and suns, havens of life and joy, all harmoniously turning around Mount Zion. When witnessing such a great achievement of the Supreme King, the angelic hosts fell down, echoing space illuminated by a song of triumph in salute to life. Whole universe joined this song of gratitude for the promise of eternal fidelity to the Creator. Guided by the Eternal, the angels came to know the riches of the universe. In this tour, Sidereal marveled before the vastness of the kingdom of light. By all parties met worlds inhabited by happy creatures who received them so precious as life, freedom of choice, through which the creatures could demonstrate their love for the Creator, demanded a test of loyalty. In order to reveal it, the Eternal led the hosts through the space illuminated by approaching an abyss of darkness that contrasted with the immense brightness of galaxies. By far, this gulf had proved insignificant in the eyes of angels as a blip without light, but the extent of their approach it was shown in its enormity. The Creator, who revealed to the angels every step of the mysteries of his kingdom, stood there silent, as if guarding a secret to himself. The darkness of that abyss consisted in testing the fidelity. Turning to the hosts, the Eternal solemnly said, "All the treasures of light will be open to your notice, unless the secrets hidden by darkness. You are free to serve me or not. Loving the light, you will be connected to the source of life." With these words did Yahweh separation between light and darkness, good and evil. The universe was free to choose his destiny.
Access denied. 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 Access denied.
This universe is mine. I am God here.
Captivated with his sympathy. No other angel could reveal him as the mysteries of the eternal love. The universe, feeding the fountain of life, was expanding an eternity of perfect peace. Obedience to divine law was the foundation of all progress and happiness. While mindful of free will, never climbed to the heart of any creature's desire to move away from the Creator. So it was for a long time, until this problem erupted in the life of the one who was the closest of the eternal. Lucifer, who devoted his life to understanding the mysteries of light, he was gradually drawn to the darkness. The king of the universe, in whose eyes nothing can be hidden, sadly followed in his footsteps, descending the path that leads to death. At first, a little curiosity led Lucifer to approach that deep abyss. Contemplating it, he began to wonder why I cannot understand your conundrum. Returning to his place of honor beside the throne, bowed himself to the divine king, beseeching him, "Father, give me to know the secrets of darkness, like me reveals the light." Before the request of beautiful angel, the eternal expressive voice with sadness said, "My son, you were raised to the light, that is life." Convinced that the Creator does not reveal the treasures of darkness, Lucifer decided to understand the puzzle by yourself. He thought himself able to do so. With this sad decision, the Prince of Angels allowed to arise in your heart a stain of sin that could bring a catastrophe to the universe. Only Yahweh knew what was in the heart of Lucifer.
He's in the heli.
When it comes to video games,
Oh my God!
older Americans are showing they can hold their own with the kids.
I got him.
60-year-old Michelle Statham is a grandmother of 2 and also happens to have more than 3 million followers across platforms who tune in each day to watch her play the military combat game Call of Duty.
I see you.
Online, she's Tactical Grandma.
What is it that you love about video games?
I'm a competitive person. I grew up playing competitive soccer. So to me, when I play games like Call of Duty, I still get that competitive feel that I can't do physically anymore.
She's not alone. Nearly half of all baby boomers are getting in on the action, with mental stimulation as the top reason this generation says they've taken up the activity. Doctors say gaming for older Americans has benefits, allowing them to use the brain, stay engaged, and maintain cognition.
It helps your brain kind of keep firing those things that maybe you did when you worked. And if you're retired now, you may not be using those. And just if you play with people online, it's a fun way to connect with people as well.
Research shows puzzles, skill and chance, and arcade video games are the most popular with older players.
Do you feel that more and more older Americans are gaming?
I know that they are. And there's a lot of older females now that say that they started playing Call of Duty because they saw me play.
And they're doing it their way.
I'll say, bless your heart. You know, you tried so hard. You just got beat by a grandma. Bless your heart.
Access denied. 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 Access denied.
This universe is mine. I am God here.
The angel who was created to be the bearer of light was divorced in thoughts of the beneficent Creator, who, in an effort to prevent the disaster, besought him to stay with him. A tremendous fight began to catch up in his heart. The desire to know the meaning of darkness was immense, however, pleading that loving Father, who also did not want to lose the tortured. Seeing the suffering caused his attitude to the Creator sometimes showed repentance, but returned to fall. Before creating the universe, Yahweh had already foreseen the possibility of a rebellion. The risk of granting freedom to creatures was immense, but without this gift, life would be meaningless. The Lord did not want us programmed to do only His will. He wanted obedience with the result of recognition and love, so I decided to take the big risk. Yet to continue the search of the meaning of darkness, Lucifer did not intend to leave the light. Strove to achieve a combination of these parts, in the realm of eternal coexisted separately. Finally, with a feeling of elation, devised a deceptive theory that aimed to present the universe as a new system of government and the rule of the eternal, called his theory the knowledge of good and evil. Structured logic, the science of good and evil, has proved attractive to Lucifer, like unveiling a sense of life superior to that offered by the Creator, whose kingdom enabled only experimental knowledge of good. In the new system, there would be a balance between good and evil, between love and selfishness, between light and darkness. Throughout the time that had matured in his mind the knowledge of good and evil, Lucifer knew to keep secret from the universe, remained at his post of honor, fulfilling the function of the light-bearer, however. For much he tried to pretend his face no longer showed joy in serving the eternal. The divine king, who suffered in silence, looking through his revelations of love, rational creatures prepare for the big event approaching, knew that many would hearken to temptation, turning him back. The night of the ordeal would stand, however, the true believers, those who served the Creator not by interest, but by love. Seeing that the test time had come and that Lucifer was ready to betray him before the universe, the Eternal, who never ceased to reveal the treasures of his wisdom, became quiet and contemplative. The silence did revive the heart of the hosts of the memory of that first outing outer when, after showing them the riches of the kingdom of light, Yahweh became silent before the abyss. Remember his words, "All the treasures of light will be open to your notice, unless the secrets hidden by darkness. You are free to serve me or not. Loving the light, you will be connected to the source of life." Lucifer, who had come to covet the throne of Yahweh, asked him why his silence. The Creator, staring at him with infinite sadness, said, "The hour of darkness. You are free to achieve their purposes." Seeing that the moment for the propagation of his theory had arrived, summoned angels Lucifer for a special meeting. The hosts, eager to know the meaning of the silence of the Father, took their places along the magnificent angel who always had revealed the treasures of the kingdom of light. Lucifer began his speech extolling as usual the government of the Eternal. In a large retrospective, reminded them of the great revelations that enriched in whole eternity. The silent celestial presented it as an indication that the universe reached the fullness of knowledge from light. Silencing the Eternal, then, opened the way for the understanding of mysteries not yet probed, hitherto kept beyond the limits of his government. Surprises, the hosts took the experience of Lucifer knowledge over darkness. With eloquence, he spoke to them the knowledge of good and evil, showing how the path of the greatest achievements. The effect of his words soon made itself felt throughout the universe. The question was decisive and explosive, generating first contention. Rational beings, in their evidence, they had to choose to stay only with the knowledge of light, which claimed to be Lucifer, reached its limits, or venture into the knowledge of good and evil. Earlier, the angels have struggled on the matter, and soon after, the entire universe challenged. Dire would be the knowledge of good and evil would garner most of the creatures, but gradually many who initially became excited with theory awakened to the illusion of it, reaffirming their allegiance to the kingdom of light. At the end of that conflict, which dragged on for a long time, proved to be a third of the stars from the sky next to Lucifer, and the remaining still shaken by evidence that beside the Eternal. The knowledge of good and evil was trumpeted by Lucifer as a new system of government. But how to exercise it if the Eternal, still reigning in Zion, needed to find a way to push him away? The council, formed by the rebellious angels, passed on it, decided to finally ask him the throne for a certain time, which could demonstrate the excellence of the new system of government. If the universe were approved, the new system would be established forever, otherwise return the domain to the Creator. So it was that Lucifer, accompanied by his hosts, approached arrogant of his suffering father, asking him such a request. The Eternal was not ambitious, just wanted good to his creatures. If the knowledge of good and evil actually consisted in a greater good, if not oppose its implementation, giving the throne to his defenders. But he knew that path would lead to unhappiness and death. Moved by his protective love, the Creator denied the request of the host's rebels, which turned away angry. They are denied the throne, Lucifer and his hosts, to accuse the divine king, claiming to be your government tyranny. Claimed to be his stay on the throne, the clearest demonstration of his arbitrariness. They had granted them freedom of choice. For now, we neutralize it, preventing them from putting in place a system of government more. The charges of the host's rebels reverberated throughout the universe, making it appear that the government of the Eternal was unfair. This brought deep distress to those who remained faithful to the kingdom of light. Not knowing how to refute such accusations, these creatures, muted by the moral pain, longed for the time when new revelations coming from the Creator could clarify to them the mysteries of this great conflict. Accusations of blasphemy and hosts' rebels reached the climax when the Eternal, a surprising gesture, rose from his throne as it were ready to leave him. The infidels, in anticipation of an achievement, quieted down, while a sense of awe in the hearts of subjects penetrated light. He would deliver the domain of all creation, to deliver, if the vilest allegations. According to the logic from which Lucifer grounded their teachings, there was no alternative to the Creator. This tremendous expectation the universe followed in the footsteps of Yahweh. In a gesture of humility, the Creator divested himself of his crown and his royal robe, deposing them on the target throne.
Access denied. 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 Access denied.
But at 9:59 a.m. on September 11th, 2001,
Trumpet Apollyon the Destroyer was released.
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. The victims were in airplanes or in their offices.
Woe! Woe! Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound.
The book of Daniel, time of indignation of the lawless one is happening now. The meaning of indignation is anger or annoyance, provoked by what is perceived to be unfair treatment. Remember when you read in Daniel when it speaks of the man in linen, these times are sealed up until the end. And that's only because the lawless one is going to reveal himself. So it says causing division and fight for justice. That's the meaning of indignation.
They're coming in at the highest level. We're joined by Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, SoftBank CEO, my friend Masa Yoshi-san, and CEO of OpenAI, and I would say the by far the leading expert based on everything I read. Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate.
This is Daniel 11:37-39. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers. This is Donald Trump. All the gods that they honor, all those statues, the Hall of Statues in the Capitol building, which is the sun god temple. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers. He doesn't. Nor the ones desired by women, nor for any other god, because he will magnify himself above them all. 38, and in their place, he will honor a god of fortresses. In their place. A fortress is a walled fortress. China. The AI, invisible, omnipresent God now ruling over China. and ruling over the whole world, telling all these leaders what to do and when to do it and how to do it.
Now let's call it what it really is. The BRIC card is not about making your life easier. It's about making you easier to track, control, and punish if you step out of line across whatever line of the day is deemed important. They've wrapped it up in slick PR language about streamlining services and enhancing security and making sure that the Windrush scandal never happens again, because people who are allowed to live here will have the proof that they do so. They're also telling you all through the press that this will stop people coming over here on small boats. That is patently untrue. It isn't just about proving who you are online. That all sounds rather lovely. This is about building a centralized, state-controlled digital identity system that could be used, will be used, to link your finances, your medical history, your travel movements, your social media activity, even your social activity in real life, and more. It's quite frankly a digital dog tag, and once it's clipped around your neck, you will not be able to take it off.
Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
With a major event.
We have spent more than $2 billion on the greatest scientific gamble in history. It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic power of the universe. With this bomb, we have now added a new and revolutionary increase in destruction. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. We shall destroy their doubts, their factories, and their communications. Let there be no mistake. We shall completely destroy Japan's power to make war.
Enola Gay, this is Command. You're clear for takeoff. Over.
Copy that, Command. Commencing takeoff now. Over. Command, this is Enola Gay. We are approaching the initial point. Over.
Roger, Enola Gay. Confirm weather conditions and visibility over Hiroshima. Over.
Weather is clear and visibility is excellent, Command. Wind speed at altitude is within acceptable parameters for bomb release. Over.
Confirm payload status, Enola Gay. Over.
Little boy is secure and armed. Safety mechanisms have been disengaged. Over. Enola Gay to Command. We are currently at 31,000 feet. Adjusting course for final approach. Over.
You are cleared to proceed, Enola Gay. We need to hit the Ioi Bridge for maximum impact. What's the payload status? Over.
Payload is ready for deployment. Maintaining speed and altitude for optimal drop trajectory. Over.
Godspeed, Enola Gay. Command out.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're
Hi, I'm Sari, here to answer your copyright questions. Today's topic is fair use.
With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
And then finally, Revelation 8, verse 2 to 6 reads, "And I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. Then another angel, having a golden censer, came and stood at the altar. He was given much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar, which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, with the prayers of the saints, ascended before God from the angel's hand. Then the angel took the censer, filled it with fire from the altar, and threw it to the earth. And there were noises, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake.
We are experiencing quite a bit of shaking. If you'll give us a brief moment here, we're making sure that nothing is going to come down in the studio here.
And it is going for quite a bit, everybody. It continues
this is a very strong
to rattle
earthquake.
pretty strong here.
8:21 here on the air. We're experiencing very strong shaking.
Wow.
I think we need to get under the desk.
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back after
We'll be right
this.
back.
Wow.
Well, it was 29 years ago today that Southern California was jolted awake by the Northridge earthquake, still considered the most costly earthquake in U.S. history. After the powerful quake, engineers discovered buildings and other structures were not as safe as originally believed. Well, since then, LA County has made improvements to ready the Southland for future earthquakes. This includes retrofitting buildings, improving the structure of freeway overpasses, installing an early warning alert system, even an app that can warn us before the shaking starts.
And mere moments can make the difference.
Absolutely.
That footage, wow.
Sounding his trumpet, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea.
On December 26, 2004, a tranquil Sunday, millions across the Indian Ocean coast were enjoying their Christmas holiday. 7:58 a.m. local time, a very powerful underwater earthquake struck off the west coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. It measured between 9.1 and 9.3 on the Richter scale, one of the largest earthquakes ever recorded. This significant seismic event was the beginning of a devastating tsunami. Its force was truly extraordinary. The earthquake's epicenter was located approximately 30 kilometers beneath the seabed, a relatively shallow depth for such a strong tremor. This shallow position, combined with its high magnitude, caused a large disturbance to the ocean floor. The energy released was equivalent to thousands of atomic bombs. This created a very powerful oceanic shockwave. The earthquake caused a vast section of the seabed, stretching hundreds of kilometers, to suddenly uplift by several meters. This vertical shift violently pushed billions of tons of ocean water upwards. It created a large mound of water that instantly began to generate the tsunami. This sudden movement was the source of the waves. As the displaced water collapsed under the force of gravity, it generated a series of powerful and fast-moving waves. Unlike typical wind-driven surface waves, these were deep ocean waves, affecting the entire water column. They began propagating outwards in all directions across the Indian Ocean. These waves were unlike anything commonly seen. In the deep ocean, these tsunami waves traveled at incredible speeds, comparable to a jet airliner, reaching up to 800 kilometers per hour. Their height in the open sea was often imperceptible, just a few feet high. This rapid, stealthy approach meant coastal areas received very little advance notice. The waves moved with astonishing swiftness. Sadly, there was no comprehensive tsunami warning system operating in the Indian Ocean at that time. The region lacked the necessary seismic sensors, deep ocean buoys, and rapid communication infrastructure. This critical absence meant coastal populations received no alert whatsoever. Their vulnerability was tragically high. Within minutes of the earthquake, the devastating waves slammed into the coast of Aceh, Sumatra, the closest landmass to the epicenter. Walls of water, some reportedly over 30 meters high, completely obliterated coastal communities. Banda Aceh, the provincial capital, was almost entirely submerged beneath the floodwaters. The impact was immediate and total. Entire villages in Indonesia were simply erased from the map, swallowed by the relentless surge of water. Homes, schools, and essential infrastructure were demolished, leaving only widespread debris and desolation. The sheer force and speed of the waves left residents no time at all to escape. The destruction was absolute. Approximately 2 hours after the earthquake, the tsunami reached the popular tourist resorts along Thailand's Andaman coast. Areas like Phuket and Khao Lak were struck by multiple waves, turning idyllic beaches into zones of chaos and complete destruction.
John saw the second angel sounding his trumpet, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea. The third trumpet caused the waters to be struck. Then the third angel sounded, and a great star fell from heaven, burning like a torch, and it fell on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water.
Behind me is a bit of water called the Strid. There are a couple of Strids in Britain, but this is the one on the River Wharfe at Bolton Abbey in Yorkshire. And I reckon it is the most dangerous stretch of water anywhere on Earth. Now, that's a bold claim, I know. There are certainly rivers that have taken more lives, and there are rapids and waterfalls that few boats could ever sail, but generally, you can see them coming. This is just an innocent-looking stream in the middle of some woods. You could jump over it. People occasionally do, but if you miss that jump, it'll kill you.
Then the fourth trumpet, the heavens struck. Revelation 9 verse 12 reads, Then the fourth angel sounded, and a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them were darkened. A third of the day did not shine, and
the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap.
Airplanes or in their offices, secretaries, businessmen and women, military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil.
no wonder heaven was silent for half an hour. So the seven angels who had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound, and the seven angels will sound each trumpet. And the 7 angels will sound their trumpet one by one, and each trumpet is associated with a major event. This is why all heaven is silent. Heaven knows what the 7 trumpets mean. For instance, the 5th trumpet will be the release of the locusts from the bottomless pit.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Didn't work out.
Freedom of religion. The First Amendment of the Constitution contains some of the most fundamental freedoms of our country, including freedoms of speech, press, protest, assembly, and last but not least, religion.